Hello, my name's Ben.
And my name's Josh.
Welcome back to FPL Graduates and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be looking at a highly requested one, chip strategy.
Yeah, we're going to be taking a look at what my strategy is and what Ben's strategy is because they're slightly different this season. And we're also going to talk you through what double game weeks and blank game weeks there are to come.
Okay, so first of all, let's go through the confirmed fixtures that we've got. As you can see on the screen here is the fixture ticker currently for all confirmed fixtures with the Premier League.
Yeah, this is the next 5 game weeks. So we're looking at a few teams. There's small doubles, small blanks. Obviously, the Carabao Cup final is in not this weekend, but next weekend. So Manchester United and Newcastle will blank respectively. And obviously their opponents, Brentford and Brighton, are blanking too. Kind of annoying from like people who don't want to use their chips right now because obviously Brighton are playing really well. They get a double next week, the week after as well. So it's going to be interesting. But we'll go through now what teams blank when and what teams double when, Ben.
Yeah, so as you can see, guys, we've got a double in game week 25 for Arsenal and Everton. Interesting fixtures there, Leicester and Everton for Arsenal. I think you should probably be looking to triple up on those Arsenal guys at that given point. And it's interesting that it also coincides with a blank game week in 25 with, like Josh said, the Carabao Cup finalists Newcastle, Manchester United, and their opponents Brentford and Brighton, respectively, all having a blank.
Yeah, also in that week, we've got Liverpool and Wolves with the double for each of those. Obviously, Liverpool, really interesting team to look at right now, given the fact that, you know, obviously they're beating Everton. They looked very good in that game. So we'll be able to see in that Newcastle away fixture and obviously that Real Madrid fixture in the Champions League, whether they can maintain that level or whether it was just a blip. But I'll certainly be looking towards those guys for that game week. Following on from that, blank game week 28. It's obviously on here as everyone's got fixtures, but there could be 10 potential blanks in that game week because of the FA Cup. So that's one to watch out for, and probably one that I would lean towards using my free hit. We'll discuss strategy and our strategies a little bit later on. Another big game week is also the game week after that, which is game week 29. That's going to be a huge double because of those blanks. So there'll be a double game week 29 where 10 teams double in that. Some other big game weeks as well is going to be game week 32, where 4 to 8 teams could blank. Obviously, it's depending on the fixture schedule with the FA Cup and other things like that. Double game week 34, where 8 teams can double, and then also double game week 37, where 6 teams can double. There's obviously going to be a few more mini doubles and mini blank game weeks around that. For example, in 26, 27, 30, there might be 1 or 2 teams doubling or 1 or 2 teams blanking, but they are the big, juicy double and blank game weeks.
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of strategy. Now, in the short term, a lot of people are going to agree with us on this one. Game week 24 is almost a perfect week to roll the transfer. There's a lot of nice fixtures for the good teams. There's no blank game week. There's no double game week. It seems a pretty safe week to sort of just roll your transfer into double/blank game week 25. A lot of people are having 2 transfers to attack this game week is going to be big for a lot of people. So for me, I'm going to be bringing in double game week assets. I'm looking at Liverpool. I'm looking at sort of even potentially one Everton player. Defensively, they look a lot more sound under Sean Dyche. So I can see myself taking a -4 to field a really strong 11 for that week. A lot of people are going to have to take hits to even get a bare minimum 11. So if you have 2 free transfers, it might put you in a really, really strong position. For game week 26 and double game week 27, my strategy is probably going to be to use my 2 free transfers that I get from these weeks to get some Brighton players in. In my team personally, I've already got Ivan Toney, which it could be enough coverage really for that Brentford team. He's sort of the talismanic figure. So bringing in a Mitoma, a Stupinan, like some of those sorts of players you're looking at. I'd say 2 Brighton players would be absolutely fine. If you can get 3, obviously that's a bonus. And then for the blank game week 28, where I'm bringing in those Brighton players, it may be worth myself to take that free hit. It's looking like it's going to be quite a big blank game week. So, you know, free hit, I think, is a sensible strategy to go with. And this is sort of similar to what Josh is doing. But from there, I'm going to try and dead end my team into blank game week 32 by bringing in players with my free transfers that play in that blank game week to then wildcard the week after that blank and then utilize my bench boost. Because I'm chasing rank, I think it's more sensible to do this to wildcard and then bench boost straight after to sort of maximize the amount of points I could potentially get from a bench boost. That's my sort of strategy going into the short term, the medium term, and looking further into the long term. Josh, what are your thoughts on that strategy? Is there any potential holes that you could see and any potential gains that could be made using this strategy?
Yeah, I think for your position, it's definitely the perfect strategy. A lot of people like myself who are trying to protect rank will probably look to use their wildcard earlier because, yeah, they're just trying to protect rank. They're trying to get the players in that they need. A lot of people are going to be hopping off Manchester United assets, especially, and then maybe Newcastle assets as well, because not only do Newcastle blank, but they've got Liverpool this week. I think they've got City the week after the Carabao Cup final. So they're very tough games. Not saying that Newcastle can't, challenge these teams. They've got points against all those teams before earlier on in the season, but it is a tough run. So for me personally, I think having just Trippier is probably enough from Newcastle right now. I know he doesn't really impact rank and he doesn't boost your rank, but I think it's safer than going with the double Newcastle. But yeah, I think that's the only real issue that you might fall into is that you might have players in the next few weeks that you probably might not want to own, and then therefore you're going to have to take hits to get them out, like you've mentioned. So yeah, I think that's the only thing. But for where you are right now, I think it's the perfect strat. Okay, so moving on to my plans. So obviously, we are in a different scenario. So I've just fallen outside the top 10K this week. Obviously, this is before the Arsenal City game, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But hoping to climb back in with the Arsenal boys that I have. So this week, same as Ben, I'll probably roll the transfer just because I think the team looks decent. It's a single game week. There's nothing that I really want to attack just right now. I think I can get away with rolling it. And then that does enable me to obviously attack that double in 25. Bring in 2 Liverpool assets is what I've said, but we'll wait. Like I said, I'll wait and see how they perform on a more consistent basis over the next couple of games they've got. On the eye at the minute, I'll probably look towards Darwin Nunez, maybe Cody Gakpo just because of the price. If he can pop up with a return or two, at 7.7 million, he's an absolute bargain in that attack. The only issue you have with Liverpool's attack is that they've got everyone back now. So there could be Jota back, Firmino back. You don't know really who's going to play, so that could be a risk. I'm hoping Nathan Patterson will be fit for that double game week 25 and playing. I've kept him since he's been injured on my bench. So I'm hoping he comes back in. Seamus Coleman is not exactly putting himself in a good light. So let's hope he's fit. Game week 26, I'll probably then move, say, if I did bring in Nunez to João Felix. Chelsea have a nice fixture that week. I think it's against Leeds. And João Felix looks really good, a really good asset to own right now. He looks sharp. He's intriguing me a lot, and I'm kind of want him in my team right now, but we'll hold off for a couple of weeks yet. Double game week 27 is when I'll look to wildcard. This is mainly because it's the week after the blank, so I won't have to, spend transfers on Brighton players and stuff like that. I can just triple up Brighton, Brentford, the Raya Kepa rotation as well, fixtures wise, until the end of the season is unreal. So I think I'll look to do that in goal. Ivan Toney is a player that I don't own that I'd like to own. Matoma, March, Estupiñán, as Ben mentioned, they are all players that I'd like in my team and that are good options going forward as well. So, yeah, that's what I've looked at on FPL.team. If you don't know about that website, make sure you check it out. You can plan your team ahead of time in the game. You can see what fixtures they have and stuff like that. It's a really handy tool to plan this out. And then blank game week 28, I would hit that free hit. Like we said earlier, in the FA Cup games, there's going to be loads of teams blanking. The only issue I have with using the free hit in this week is that the teams that do play aren't necessarily the best, or the fixtures aren't the best. So, sometimes you have to wait up. Do you use it in a blank or do you use it in a double? Sometimes you get more upside in a double. But I think just out of pure force that I'd have to use it in that blank game week 28. And then for the rest of the season, I'd just navigate those doubles and blanks accordingly with my team with the free transfers. Maybe you have to use some hits. And then I'd probably look towards bench boosting in one of the bigger double game weeks, as mentioned earlier in the video, probably like 37 or I think 34 I mentioned. And then I'll just use my free transfers for that. My plan is on a wildcard draft that I've done is that I should have a decent bench anyway with, 14, 15 players playing all the time. So I'm hoping that the bench boost shouldn't provide too much of a problem for me going forward.
Yeah, it's a good strategy, a safe one as well, with potentially sort of not too many hits along the way. Hopefully that wildcard can sort of sort your team out for, you'd like to hope that a wildcard can affect your team sort of in a positive way for sort of upwards of 6-7 game weeks. So you should be absolutely fine there. With the free hit, obviously, we're waiting for the announcement of that from FA Cup weekend. So once that's over and we sort of have a better light of the potential blank game weeks on the horizon, then it will cement the strategy even further. But yeah, I can see a lot of people who are going to probably have maybe 2 Liverpool assets for double game week 25 and probably ship one of them out straight away. That's certainly the plan with myself. With whichever second Liverpool asset I bring in, it will only be really for 1 game week only. So yeah, it's covering the bases. My only sort of concern maybe would be those Brighton and Brentford assets. If you go all in on them, it's a slight risk with that in future game weeks after 27. But like you said, it's they've got the most double game weeks left potentially and got the most games ready to play.
So that is our strategy for the upcoming blanks and doubles for the rest of the season. Let us know what your plan is in the comments, and if you need any help planning out your teams and stuff like that, we'll reply to every single comment down below.
Yeah, let us know your strategies. Let us know what you're going to be planning on doing with your team. It's going to be a hectic few weeks in FPL, but we are certainly looking forward to it. And as always, remember to like, follow, and subscribe. I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And we'll see you guys
later. Have a good game week, everyone.